Hi everyone, I'm Gigi. Welcome to Gigi's Magic Mailbox, a place where we read great stories, have lots of fun, and get mailbox surprises. Did you hear that? That means something's just arrived in the Magic Mailbox. Let's see what it is. A book called Lucy the Curious Beagle and Her Great Escape. Oh, that sounds exciting. I can't wait to see what Lucy's going to get herself into. Sounds like quite an adventure. Well, this is a book that you can download from Amazon. So if you've downloaded and you have your own copy, grab it and we can read it all together. All right, let's get started.
Lucy, the Curious Beagle, and Her Great Escape. Written by Daisy Rose. In a tiny house in a town nestled in the countryside, there lived 4 happy and cheerful dogs having the best time of their lives. Among them was Lucy, the most mischievous and lively of them all. You see, Lucy often got bored at home and longed for exciting adventures across the English countryside. So on a rainy day, when Mom and Dad weren't so keen on walking the 4 dogs in the mud and rain, Lucy sat by the window and looked at the trees marking the edge of the forest. Lucy looked sad, so her siblings came and tried to cheer her up one by one. The group is only as happy as their saddest member, so they leave no dog behind. First came Bailey with Lucy's tennis ball. It's her favorite toy, and if left alone with it, she can play with it for days. So Bailey found it very strange when Lucy dismissed the ball without even giving it a good thump and a chase.
There's our favorite sound. Let's see what's in the Magic Mailbox. A tennis ball. This one's a little old and worn because we've been playing with it a lot. But wasn't that so sweet that Bailey brought Lucy a tennis ball to play with? She wanted to cheer her up. But Lucy wasn't cheered up, was she? Well, let's see what else happens in the story.
Next came Bobby, who with his high energy can encourage anyone to join in with him on some high-speed fun. But not Lucy, not today. And lastly came Dilly, who thought it best to sit down and instead have a chat. She laid down next to her sister and asked, "What's wrong, Lucy? You don't want to come and play with us?" "I'd rather be out there, but Mom and Dad are both working, and we all know that an adventure is not happening today," Lucy replied. "All right then, Lucy," Dilly said. "I'll leave you be. Just don't try to think about it too much." Lucy felt gloomy, but just when Dilly left, the rain stopped and the Curious Beagle saw something that caught her interest. Dad had just gone to take some trash outside, but as he left, he slipped on a bit of wet grass and forgot to shut the door. Lucy wouldn't normally pay attention to this, but today it was exactly what she needed for one of her master escape plans. So she got up and slowly moved to greet Dad as he came back in. Dilly, Bobby, and Bailey knew that determined look in Lucy's eyes, so they followed closely behind. Lucy is up to something. Staying hidden just near the door, Lucy grabbed a shoe in her mouth and waited for the perfect moment. As Dad came back in, Lucy placed the shoe in the door to stop it from closing.
There's that magical sound that we love. Let's see what's in the Magic Mailbox. This is one of Pop's slippers. Lucy was so smart, wasn't she? She put that shoe right in the door so that it couldn't close, so that she could sneak right on out. That was pretty clever of her, wasn't it? Well, it wasn't Pop's shoe that she put in the door, but this one would work too, wouldn't it? Let's see what else happens with Lucy. She's a crazy little dog, isn't she?
However, Lucy also knows Dad was expecting the door to make a sound, so a well-timed bark was the last piece of the puzzle for Lucy's perfect escape plan. Quickly, Lucy made her way outside, and her 3 siblings followed her to the backyard and out through the gate. "Let's go!" Lucy made a run for the forest and quickly disappeared among the trees. "Lucy, wait! Where are you going? Lucy, come back!" Bailey, Dilly, and Bobby called out, but the adventurous Beagle was at the start of the adventure of a lifetime. She had no intention of turning back, so they decided to follow her. When Lucy reached the forest, she slowed down for her siblings to catch up. "Whoa!" Dilly looks around with wonder. "It's really beautiful here," Bobby agreed. "I love this place," Bailey said. In the forest, there were so many things to see and smell that the dogs forgot about all their worries and enjoyed the moment. After a while, Lucy heard a loud burble in the distance and called her siblings to follow her. As they got closer to the sound, the dogs discovered a shallow river with perfectly clear water. So they quickly jumped in and started to splash around. Lucy, Bobby, Dilly, and Bailey never had so much fun. After playing in the water, the dogs were exhausted, so they got out and had a good shake-off. The water must have cooled their heads because the first thing Dilly said was that they should go back home. "Yeah, Mom and Dad must be worried sick," Bobby added, so they decided to start heading back. But the paths of the forest all looked the same. They were lost and didn't know the right way. The sun was starting to set behind them, and the forest was getting darker by the second. Now their laughter and happy barks turned into whimpers and rumbling tummies. "I'm so hungry," Bobby cried. "I'm tired," Dilly sniffed. "We'll never find our way home," they all said. Lucy started to cry. "I'm so sorry, guys," Lucy said with tears in her eyes. "It's all my fault. I thought all I wanted was an adventure, but it wasn't the same without Mom and Dad around. They are probably annoyed and so scared right now. It was a silly idea to run away." "Hey, it's okay, Lucy," Bailey said. "It's not all your fault. We came along too, and we could have stopped you." "You're right, Bailey," Bobby said. "We're in it together. But Lucy, you always find us amazing adventures. I'm certain you can find us our way back home. So let's stop feeling sorry for ourselves and get back to Mom and Dad as fast as we can." "Thank you, everyone," Lucy said, standing up on her back feet and sniffing the air. "I brought us out here, and I'm going to get us back home. If we followed the river down, let's follow it back up." The 4 dogs did just that, and they quickly found the trail. They didn't see their house anywhere, but they knew they were close. Suddenly, Lucy heard some familiar voices. "Lucy, Bailey, Dilly, Bobby!" Mom and Dad were on the trail. They followed the voices, and just when they turned a corner, "Mom! Dad!" The dogs started jumping around and were so excited to see their mom and dad. Back home, Mom and Dad gave the 4 escape artists a bath, some food, and a lot of cuddles. Lucy was happy she went on a great adventure, but she won't be so quick to run away again.
There's our favorite sound. Let's see what's in the Magic Mailbox. Some bath and body wash. I bet those 4 dogs were stinky after swimming in that river, don't you? Ooh, and a full day of being out in the sun and traveling. They needed a bath, that's for sure. Well, I wonder if Lucy was glad to be home. What do you think after a full day of an adventure? Well, let's find out.
Snuggled up on the sofa as Lucy started to doze off, she thought to herself, home life is not so bad after all. The end.
Thank you for joining me today to read Lucy, the Curious Beagle, and her great escape. She was a curious beagle, wasn't she? I'm so glad that in the end she made it home okay. Well, I hope you have a great day. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit subscribe. And I'll see you soon.